This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be trying not to go mad, and by doing this we're going to be opening and sealing different portals and going through those portals and activating special abilities. Today we're looking at Pocket Madness. This is a Rummy style or Rummy variant style game designed by Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Malblanc. This is put out by Passport Game Studios in North America. It's for 2 to 4 players, so let me show you how it's played and I'll see you on the other side. Pocket Madness is a Rummy style game where you'll be pulling up cards and trying to play cards as melds. Now everyone starts with 2 cards. Now the deck goes from 6 to 12 and it's sort of a pyramid deck. There's 6 6s, 7 7s, all the way up to 12 12s. And there's 2 long lines. If you can fit on 1 line, you can do that, but most of the time you have to put this big thing on 2 lines. This is the beginning, and then after that's gone, you'll come down here and go this way like that. On your turn, you can do one of 2 things. You can either pick up cards or play cards. Now, when you pick an up card, you can take 1, 2, or 3 of the first cards always. Some of the cards, 17 of them, start randomly shuffled in face down so you can't see these. So maybe I just take 1 card, that's my turn. Maybe the next player goes, well, I'll take all 3. They take all 3. The next player goes, I'll take this one. And the next player goes, I'll take just this one. And the next player goes, I'll take these 3. All right, so that's taking cards. Now what else you can do is instead of taking cards, you can play cards on your turn as a meld. Now when playing melds, there's 2 different types you can play, but you can only play 1 type on your turn. This is sort of the 3 of a kind type of thing, all the same number. If you have at least 3 of the same number, you can play it down. You can play more than 3 of the same number. I can play a ton of 9s, as many as I have if I want. And you can do this up to 3 times on 1 turn. So I can throw down 3 9s, 3 6s, 3 7s, 3 or more I should say. And each time you throw one of these, obviously you're emptying cards out of your hand, which you're trying to do, because going out is a great thing. But what you're trying to do also is, once you play these down like this, 3 of a kind or more, you get a special ability. So each card has a special ability card that you'll take, and you'll place it in front of you. This says immediately take another full turn. You can use this anytime you want. You would put it back into the general supply, and you could take another turn. I could do it right now if I wanted to. However, if while this is in front of me, somebody else lays down 3 or more 9s, they get to take this from me. So I want to keep it for the right spot, but I don't want to wait too long because it might get stolen from me. Now some of those other abilities are like, hey, you can pass your turn. Sometimes you don't want to take any of the cards. Until your next turn, the other players have to just draw the first card for their turn, so it really screws your opponents up. Take the card of your choice from anywhere in the deck, really strong. Take the card of your choice from an opponent's hand. You get to look at your opponent's hand and take a card. Discard 1 random card from each opponent's hand, and then distribute 1 or 2 of your cards between 1 or 2 players. All of these are very powerful. Now after I played those, that would have been the end of my turn. But let's say on a subsequent turn, I want to play another type of meld. The other type you can do is 1 of each of the cards in the game, 6 through 12. When you throw that down, you don't get a special ability, but every other player will get 1 madness. These are bad because at the end of the game, well, whoever gets 10 of these, it will end the game, and then whoever has the least is the winner. So you do not want these. Every other player would get 1 of these. But again, you can play up to 3 of these. You have no hand limit. So if you played 2 of these runs in a row, wow, you could do that in 1 turn. And for everyone after the first, you increase the madness. So let's say I played this. Everyone gets 1 madness. Let's say either I on this turn or on a subsequent turn or somebody else later plays a run just like this. Since the already has been 1 this round, the next player when they play that, everyone else would get 2 madness. And if there's a third one that happens in a round, everybody else would get 3 madness. And it's a catapulting craziness. Everyone goes into madness. But it's hard because there's only 6 of these cards. And it takes a lot of cards to do it. Now you'll continue doing this till one of 2 things happens. Either the entire line of both rows of cards, all the cards go out and the last one's taken. When that happens, everyone gets 1 more turn, including the last player to try to drop down melds. When that happens, at the end, everyone plays their cards down and shows them, and for every unique card, you'd get a madness. So 2 9s, they're both the same card, so that's just 1 madness. 2, 3, 4. I would get 4 madness if I was stuck with this at the end of my hand. Everyone does the same. The game ends as soon as there are 10 madness on anybody, and then the least amount of madness person wins. If you tie, you share the victory. Now, if the other way around can end is if, let's say I went out. Let's say I actually had 9 cards. I went out. I'm completely done. The round would end immediately. Everybody else would get 1 madness, but I would get to remove half of mine and round it down up to fractions, and then we'd go to a next round. You just continue to set up just like we did. Keep playing until someone has 10. Whoever has the least then is the winner. All right, there's Pocket Madness. It still blows my mind that every time this tag team of dynamic designers get together and do something, I almost always really like it. And this was no exception. I really like card games. I like Rummy style games. And in fact, this game, if you had not told me who designed it and you gave it to me and I played it, I would have said, And if it wasn't the Cthulhu theme, I would have said, is this the next in the series of mystery Rummy games from Mike Fitzgerald? Because it felt like it could have been that, but something different. And I like those mystery Rummy series. It takes Rummy and kind of plays with the mechanics again. And I think this is kind of like that. I really like this game. It's phenomenal. It's quick. It's literally 30 minutes and it's over. The choices are the rules are simple. You're either picking up cards or playing cards. When you pick it, but then with those choices comes good depth. When I'm picking up cards, how many do I want to take? 1, 2, or 3. What am I going to leave my opponent? What have they been taking? There's some cards that are face down. Do I really want those? What am I going to do? Which ones? And then when you get the cards, am I going to hold them? Ooh, I can throw this set down right now. Ooh, but if I'm greedy and I wait a little longer and get that 6 up there, then I can throw that big set that's going to give madness to everybody, and they're going to be closer to going mad, and I'm going to possibly be closer to winning. So it's this interesting thing of like, you're getting cards like, oh, as soon as I get that, I'm going to drop it. And then you get it and you're like, ooh, but then I can do this, and then I can do this. And it's like this constant battle with yourself the entire game as to when you want to do it. Then you throw down some of those sets, and you get those cool special abilities, and it's like, okay, when am I going to play it? I want to find the right time to play this, because you do. But if you wait too long, someone steals it from you. So everything that was designed and baked into this game just is great design choice. So the game's awesome. It's fantastic. It usually goes anywhere between 2 and 4 rounds. Usually it's about 2-ish. I've had it go 1 round. Someone just goes crazy on madness. I mean, if you have 4 things of those crazy 6 through 12 sets that are set, most likely it's just gonna be a 1-round game, and we did that in our last game. So it can be done, but it's pretty quick. Now, so everything I liked about it, I've just mentioned. It's an amazing Rummy variant that's a lot of fun, and it scales well with all players. I played it 2 players with my wife. She loves it. I played it with more. It works all the way. Now let's get into the things I don't like about the game. One, I don't care about the theme. Cthulhu, this could have been themed anything. Why they picked Cthulhu? Well, I guess it sells. I don't give a crap about Cthulhu. I don't like those themes, but the artwork is so awesome that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't care what this is about. This art's awesome. And I just kind of look at it like that. I wish it was a better theme for me, but I'm still gonna, add it to my gaming library because the game's awesome. The artwork is great. I like the big cards. They're a little tricky where you have to hold them a specific way. You can't hold them upside down. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. And if you're holding a lot of them, but I do like the bigger cards. I love the artwork. My biggest complaint with the game is that the setup does take some time. You've got to separate out those 17 or whatever cards, flip them down, shuffle them into the deck, put them out. The rules show one big long line. It's way too long. I don't know how anybody could ever do that. So you put them in those 2 lines as you saw in the overview. And it does, for as long as the game is, if you play 3 rounds, a third of the game is probably going to be setup time, honestly, which is a detriment to the game. But the game is good enough that I'm willing to do it. And now I've kind of gotten good at it, getting it done faster because I've been playing it more. But it is something to think about. The setup kind of drags the game down a little bit. There's no way around it really. It's the design of the game and it makes sense once it's going, and you just got to get used to it. So those are the negatives, but overall I love the game, and for that I'm keeping it in my gaming library. So let's induct it properly with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter and making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.